Rockstar is a game company that has consistently put out quality content for as long as they've been around. They've sold hundreds of millions of copies of their games, making hundreds of millions of dollars, and as a consequence, they've become very, very successful. One of their games is one of the best-selling games of all time, so it's not really surprising to see that they're successful. But with that success, they've started to get lazy. Not lazy in the sense that their games are bad or that the quality is bad, but the fact that they haven't been releasing games. The last game that they released was Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018, and now, 3 years later, they haven't released anything. Before that, Grand Theft Auto 5 was the last game that they released, all the way back in 2013. And I'm not counting all the re-releases as new releases. So 2013 is the last game that they made before Red Dead Redemption 2. Nowadays, Rockstar is a lot less productive. They don't make as many games as they used to. If you look at the release calendar of their games from the first Grand Theft Auto all the way to present day, you'll see that slowly they started stretching out their release calendars very thin. In 1998, Rockstar released the first Grand Theft Auto. The next year, Rockstar released an expansion to GTA, Thrasher, and the sequel to GTA, GTA 2. 2000 was a busy year for Rockstar. They released 4 games that year. This included the first Midnight Club game. They continued this busyness trend in 2001 with 5 games, including Max Payne and GTA 3. Then in 2002, Rockstar switched it up to releasing 3 games a year by giving us an installment in GTA or Max Payne, and then a new IP, and this would wrap up their fiscal year. Until 2007, where Rockstar began to slow down by releasing 1 game a year, and then 2 the next. 2011, they were only releasing 1 game a year until 2013 when GTA 5 came out, and they took a 5-year break to work on Red Dead Redemption 2. This I kind of see as a bad sign. Red Dead Redemption 2 was a giant game, and it was a runaway success, but I don't think it would have been asking too much for them to release something in between the release of GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. I think they could have easily released at least 3 games in between that gap. I wish they would go back to the days where they'd release 1 game at least every 2 years instead of having to wait 8 years for every game that they release. They seem to be on a bad path as of right now, with no new projects in sight, no new announcements, and only small updates to Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5, which they seem to be milking. For them to at least announce a new game would really help the feeling that they're just lying dormant and not doing anything, and not working on anything. I just think my opinion on Rockstar really hinges on their really long development cycles. Because they could announce a new game, and then I would think, oh, it's coming to the PS4, for example. And then 8 years pass, and it's like, oh, wait, no, that game that I thought was coming in the PS4 is actually coming to the PS5. So, Rockstar just skipped a whole console generation just to make 1 game. It's not Rockstar's fault specifically, it's just that with the new state of video games at this point, they're just becoming so massive that it takes a long time to make them, so they can't really help that their development cycle is really long. So it may not be Rockstar's fault, it may just be the new state of video games at this time. But I mean, Jesus Christ, can they release Agent already?